All right. Julie, Lauren, you two ready?
We're ready.
All right, let's get this show on the road then. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, like I said, for our EPS Densifier 101 live webinar. We'll just get into the agenda here. All right. We're going to get started with panel introductions. We'll do a quick little overview of Sebright products, our equipment, who we are, what we offer. Then we'll get into our EPS Densifiers. We'll talk a little bit about the history, what exactly our EPS Densifier is, who the EPS Densifiers are for, our models, and we'll get into some ROI. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A portion. Please hold off asking any questions until we get to that slide. So, meet your panel. My name's Adisa Byrich. I'll be your moderator for this webinar. I'm the marketing director at Sebright Products. I've been here a little over 5 years. Up next, we have Lauren Dykstra, our general manager. Lauren's been at Sebright Products for 38 years. He was heavily involved, actually, in the development of our EPS Densifiers, so he's definitely an expert on this topic. And then we have Miss Julie Vandermoor Paxson. She is our EPS Densifier product manager. Julie's been with Sebright for 26 years. Over that time, she's worn many different hats. Not only is she now an expert in densifiers, but the company overall. So, Sebright Products. So we were founded in 1978. Sorry, I'm losing my spots here. By Brent Sebright and Lee Murray in Hopkins, Michigan, with a population of about 600 people. Incorporated in 1984 as Sebright Products, Inc. This year, we're actually celebrating our 40th anniversary, a major accomplishment. We offer over 9 different product lines for all your waste and recycling needs. You may hear of us referred to as Bright Technologies, or when you hear Sebright Products, you will also hear Bright Technologies. That's our belt filter press division, or also our stainless steel division, where we manufacture equipment made completely out of stainless steel. We have over 16,000 units worldwide. One thing that we take pride in is our ability to offer custom solutions. No projects are the same. We work really hard with our customers to make sure that the equipment meets their needs. Just a little bit about our mission, vision, and values here. Our mission is to solve waste and recycling challenges through innovative engineering, manufacturing, while upholding the highest standards of quality and safety. Our vision is to become a leader of innovation, quality, safety, and service to create a sustainable future for generations to come. And then our values are quality, community, safety, innovation, and resilience. And then our capabilities here. So engineering, we have an in-house engineering team that uses advanced 3D software for precise and efficient installations and custom solutions for diverse and challenging sites. Manufacturing, obviously we're a manufacturer. All of our equipment is manufactured here at our plant in Michigan. Everything is made in the USA. Installation, we have an expert crew that delivers turnkey installation. We have a service department that offers comprehensive service solutions, including PM programs, parts, and 24/7 nationwide support. And then we also offer a rental and lease program with flexible options, buyouts, and rental assistance. And then another thing that not too many people, I think, know about is we offer factory remanufactured equipment with factory warranty. And we'll get into a little bit of our product lines here. So I always say compactors are our bread and butter. Sebright Products started with compactors. We offer stationary compactors, self-contained, stationary self-contained, pre-crushers, transfer stations, and portable units that are powered with propane or natural gas. Then we have our high-density extruder, which is a ram press that we introduced in 1992. It is used to extract liquids from many types of industrial refuse byproducts. A lot of pulp and paper mills actually use our high-density extruders for their dewatering process. Up next, we have our belt filter presses made by Bright Technologies for wastewater treatment plants or sludge dewatering. We have our EPS densifiers for your EPS recycling needs. And again, the reason you're all here. We have an excycler and an extractor. These are ideal for product destruction for bottling facilities. The excycler produces a bale of plastic or aluminum cans, whatever it is that your commodity is, while the extractor produces a continuous log of that commodity. We also offer a glass crusher called an exciser. We have an oil filter recycler, which is a briquetter. They create small bricks of those oil filters while it also collects the oil for reuse if needed. So balers, we actually have two lines of balers. The first one is Beowulf. We partnered with JWR out of Wisconsin to offer a closed-door baler and a 2-ram baler. And then in 2019, we also partnered with Aberman from Germany to bring open-end auto tie balers to the US. And in return, Aberman actually takes our equipment to the European market. Some of our auxiliary equipment, we offer container dogs, a container solution to prevent spillage during compactor and container separation. We offer dumpers, conveyors, carts, all customizable to meet your specific needs. And here are just a few industries that we serve with our vast catalog of equipment: industrial manufacturing, food and beverage, municipalities, distribution centers, pulp, paper mill. You see it all on the screen. I mean, this just barely scratches the surface of industries that have a need for our equipment. So from here, we'll get into our EPS densifiers, and I will let Mr. Lauren Dykstra take over.
All right, thank you, Adisa. Let's move into the history of why we started producing densifiers here at Sebright and how they became part of our product line. 1994, a local EPS manufacturer came to us looking for some assistance with a foam densifier that they'd purchased from somebody else that they were having trouble with. We were up to the task, took a look at the unit, evaluated it, came up with a plan, rebuilt the unit. The following year, 1995, the EPS manufacturer came back to us with a request for us to build a large capacity densifier. So during the course of 1995, early 1995, we came up with what we call the DN 1330, which stood for a 13-inch by 30-inch block. Falcon then ordered that unit. It was delivered and installed, and is actually a prototype. November of 1996, they came back and ordered a second 1330, and both of these units are still in production, running production today after 30 years. 2006, we redesigned the 1330 to be a D120, which stands for 1,200 pounds an hour. It's representative of the capacity. That has been our flagship model for 18 years with very few changes to the original design or redesign. 2008, we introduced the D30 model as well, and that's still to this day operating with very few changes from the original design. Here's a short video of the original densifier still in operation. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over to Julie.
Thank you, Lauren and Adisa. So here we're going to talk about what is the Sebright Products EPS densifier. Our densifiers are cold compaction units using only hydraulic pressure to compress the foam. We use cutting edge technology to make sure the equipment runs and collects and efficiently compresses the EPS, which maximizes your storage space and reduces your transportation costs, which we know is important to you. So there's no heat generated from our EPS densifiers. There's no chemicals and no fumes. So with that, traditional EPS compactors have a heat that generates, and the friction will cause a heat, and the pentane gas will be released, which makes it an unsafe environment for your employees. Ours does not use that, so it makes it for a much safer process. We have a sealed design for a cleaner operation. We have a modem built into the PLC, which is for troubleshooting, so you could have our service department dial into your machine and try to troubleshoot and fix any issues before sending out a service tech. It's an adjustable block length, so you can predetermine what length you want that set for your employees, and the shear will automatically cut that for you. We have up to a 50-to-1 densification. Our features are the pre-breaker, which will break down the foam into golf ball sized pieces that will feed the bag hopper, which in turn will feed the densifier. The target markets for the densifiers are the recycling centers. I have a customer in the Indiana area that has 5 of our D120s, and those include the pre-breaker bag house, and I believe he has discharge tables as well. Distribution centers, anybody that has to unpackage the appliances or electronics will have a large volume of scrap waste that they will want to take care of. They would benefit from a densifier. Foam manufacturers, furniture manufacturers, plant nurseries, and this one is a new one to me, so I did a little research, and they actually use the EPS to grow their seedlings in, and the EPS provides a thermal barrier which grows the seedlings. So when they transplant those, they'll have a large excess amount of EPS. Precast cement form manufacturers and mobile home and RV manufacturers, they too have a large volume of scrap EPS from trying to fit it in to build the walls out. Our densifier models are the D30. That model will process up to 300 pounds per hour, and it's a robust and compact machine. It does have a force feeder on it that forces the foam down into the compression chamber. It's ideal for smaller distribution centers and recycling centers, or anybody that has a semi-large volume of waste that they need to take care of. This does require that you have a pre-breaker and a bag house, unless you have a vacuum blower system type, something like that in your plant that can feed the densifier. We offer an optional feed conveyor, which would feed the pre-breaker, a sorting table, which would sort out any plastics or metal or tape that might be on the foam that you do not want to enter into the densifier. And a discharge table, which is about 10 foot in length after the discharge of the densifier. And that's just there to keep your foam from falling off if somebody's not there to remove it. And it just gives you that extra 10 foot to push it down until somebody can stack it onto a pallet. The D120 processes up to 1,200 pounds per hour. It also has a force feeder, so that just holds the foam from fluffing back up, and then it can be compressed through the chamber. It's ideal for the larger distribution centers, recycling centers. Like I said, my customer has 5 of them. The automotive industry, furniture manufacturers, foam manufacturers, and then we'll talk about the pre-breaker. The PBX2 is what we call it, or a pre-breaker. And it's a perfect companion for our densifiers. This will accept sheets of foam that are 48 inches wide, and it chops them up into a golf ball size piece. And the conveyor feeds right into that, so you can drop those 48-inch pieces on there and it will feed up there and chop it all up. It also has a blower, cleanup blower on it, so you attach it to the densifier or use a hose as a vacuum, and that will keep your area clean, and all the particles that are picked up will go to the bag hopper. It will process up to 2,000 cubic feet per hour, so you could throw in your foam and just keep chucking it in there, or convey it up in there and let the bag fill up. And once the bag is full, you can shut the pre-breaker down and walk away and let the bag feed the densifier and do its job. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Lauren.
Thank you, Julie. So our latest innovation, this will make a third model in our lineup, is called the D10 densifier. The D10 is the newest model, born out of necessity for small footprint, lower volume accounts. It is a sleek inline design with built-on power unit and a full-size pre-breaker. The pre-breaker being full-size, this small unit will still be able to accept 48-inch wide material. No blowers, no bag house, a super quiet operation for fast and efficient installations, and the same good quality 12 by 12 block that you'd expect out of the D30. The process is up to 120 pounds per hour. It's a compact, small footprint, 12 by 12 block. It's ideal for department stores and recycling centers as well. Why did we make the smaller unit? It was out of necessity for the small footprint, lower volume accounts. How the D10 works. The operator will initiate a start cycle at the control panel. EPS rejects are then thrown into the pre-breaker hopper. Pre-breaker will grind it. As the ram moves forward, it's compacting material into the compression channel. EPS will be compacted into a dense block without friction. Once again, no heat is generated. Compressed EPS moves forward when will act as a plug when the densifier takes a new swipe of material or new materials entered into the process. It's essentially EPS pushing against EPS. Time and pressure is what creates the block quality. The length of the block is adjustable, can be broken or sheared to a desired length. Compressed material will be pushed out onto a discharge table, ready to be stacked and shipped. When the densifier senses no more incoming material, the unit will shut down and enter an idle mode. Next, let's talk about the ROI on these densifiers. Assuming a 10-hour day, 5 days a week, and a 25 cents a pound commodity option, the D120, able to process 1,200 pounds an hour, will have an ROI of about 20 months. The D30 at 300 pounds an hour will have an ROI of 12 months. The D10, processing 120 pounds an hour, will have an ROI of 20 months. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Julie.
Julie, you have to remember to unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry.
There you go.
We will be exhibiting at the Foam Expo here at the end of the month over in Novi, Michigan. We will be showcasing our D10 on the show floor. So we hope that you guys can join us. We'll be on booth 1706, and the dates will be the 25th through the 27th. So I hope to see you. What sets us apart? The hydraulic densifier versus a screw densifier. It's apples to oranges. They're all fruits, but it's on the eye of the beholder which one is the better one for you. And this is really just going to depend on what is your specific needs and what your application and what you think is important. The Sebright products Densifiers have a higher throughput. We offer up to 1,200 pounds per hour with a D120. We have an automatic friction density compaction. It's built into the PLC, and it monitors and maintains both the compression ram and the discharge plate pressures. Again, there's no melting and no friction, so there's no melting of the EPS, which in turn is less jamming and more maintenance. It has an automatic log, so you can set that length what you want, and the shear will cut it, and then you can stack it for shipping purposes. As a heavy-duty construction, all of the equipment that Sebright Products builds is built for longevity. We have multiple hopper designs, and the pre-breaker, again, which will feed 48-inch wide sheets and also take EPS blocks. All of our products are made in the US, and we have a very reliable parts and service department right here in Michigan. What sets us apart is the lower throughput. As I said, we do 1,200 pounds per hour, and the competitors are about 440 pounds per hour. They have a manual restriction adjustment, variation in output. They can melt with the friction that they do, can cause heat, which melts the EPS, causing jamming and repairs. You have to manually cut the log. It's a medium duty construction. The hopper size will not accept wide materials. They manufactured outside the US, which leads to long lead times for parts and service. All right, here's a short video of our EPS densifier D120 in operation. And with that, I'll turn it back to Adisa.
Now I'm the muted one. All right. Thank you, Julie and Lauren. So as I mentioned in earlier slides, we are celebrating our 40th anniversary this year. And with that, we decided that we need to have a big celebration. So September 19th and 20th, we'll be having an open house here at our production facility in Shelbyville, Michigan. So if you're interested, you want to come see demos of our equipment, see it, touch it, feel it, meet the crew, meet the people who, manufacture the equipment, scan that QR code on your screens. It'll take you to a web page with a little bit more information on our open house, and on there you can RSVP. So with that, we'll get into our Q&A portion here. I'll leave this up for just one more minute, let you guys get an opportunity to scan that QR code. All right. Q&A, feel free to send in your questions. We did have a few submitted during the registration process. Someone asked, what if there's water in my EPS?
Okay, I'll take that one. We occasionally get asked that. Wet EPS is not something we advertise that we can handle on a daily basis, but moist is doable. Super wet would require some modifications, or we have other pieces of equipment in our lineup that might be able to deal with that wet EPS. So typically we would do, in a moist application, we would do our mid-size unit, the D30. The hurdles with any wet foam, wet EPS is after the unit's shut down from a day of operation, if there's any moisture, because the insides of the unit are shined up from operation, you get flash rust overnight or over a weekend, things like that. So it's always can be a little hectic at a restart, but we've had some ways around that too. We've incorporated some stainless steel into the chambers and done some other stuff in the past. So certainly if you have wet EPS, please get a hold of us. If we cannot do it with the densifier, one of the densifier lineups, we have a multitude of other equipment between the balers, our stainless steel division, or our compactor division here. Chances are we'll be able to figure out something for you.
Sure. All right, next question we have here is, what's the warranty on our densifiers?
I'll take that as well here, if you don't mind, Julie. The standard warranty is parts and labor, 1 year or 2,000 hours. And then we have a frame and weldment warranty that is 5 years and 10,000 hours.
Okay. All right. We got a question coming here in our Q&A little chat bar. Amy's asking, would you be able to share the ROI slides? So at the end of this webinar, we'll be sending out the slides as a PDF to all the attendees, and on there, you'll have that ROI slide. Next question up here is, how much of a smaller footprint is the D10 compared to the D30?
I believe that the D10 is the same as the D30, except that the pre-breaker and the power unit are mounted on, so that's your space saving right there. But Lauren can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, we're roughly 4.5 foot wide by 13 feet long. Is the kind of the dimensions of it. The D30 system, if you incorporated a bag house and the pre-breaker, it kind of sprawls out into a 16 by 16 footprint or 16 by 20 footprint by the time the power unit was separate. So this design with the power unit mounted right on it, pre-breaker mounted right on it, it's kind of a long, skinny, narrow design. We shortened up the discharge chute as well. And just to let everybody know, the discharge chute on all the units is customizable, whether you want it longer, shorter, anything that the customer would need, so to speak. So
Yeah.
hope that helps.
Next question up here is, what model would I need to weigh out my semi-trailer or a semi-trailer?
I can take that one. It's all the equipment, all three models will fill up a semi-trailer. It all depends on how long you want to wait for it to be full and what your volume is. It's the easiest way to determine is really what your volume is. The smaller volume, obviously, is going to take longer. So it's how fast you want to process, but you need to determine your volume first to determine the right piece of equipment for that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Up next, it says, we've mentioned foam. Does our unit do foam and EPS?
This is strictly an EPS machine.
Yep. Got another question here. It says, could we make the D10 system portable so it could be used on job sites?
That's already been kicked around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? That's been talked about, but we're not quite there yet. So.
All right. What else do we got here? So what is the benefit of using a no heat densifier?
The no heat, again, this goes back to it's no pentane gases being released because there's no heat applied to it. There's no melting, so there's no jamming in the machine, which is labor cost, where you have to unjam that machine all the time because it's melted and turns into a solid block in the chamber. So the heat can be detrimental.
Sure. Next question we have here is, what service options do you have outside of the Midwest?
Lauren, you want to take that?
Yeah, I'll take this. Yeah, we can accommodate service everywhere in the country. Canada, pretty much anywhere we need to go.
Yep.
We have a network that we can make sure that everyone is serviced, no matter where they're at, so,
Sure.
here and abroad.
We got another question about the type of foam. Does this also do EPP?
No, it's only an expanded polystyrene. That is all, you know, maybe down the road someday we'll make something else.
All right. We've got a question here. What is the lead time on a D10 currently?
I believe we're at like the end of December, but I'm not positive on that for the D10.
We're about
Lauren?
120 days out, 120 to 150 days out right now.
Another one coming in. How could an auger style densifier melt the EPS?
Lauren, I'll let you take that one.
We've seen it happen when they've tried to press back with the plenum on them. We've seen it happen where the end of the auger is just spinning against the EPS in the block, and it solidifies everything. So we have seen it happen.
Sure. Got another one here. It says, I've had material get stuck in my current pre-breaker. Is yours more robust than my current auger-based unit?
Yes, I would like to say ours is more robust than that. Yes.
All right. We've got Nancy Baroni here saying she can't wait to get her machine.
I can't wait for it to get delivered to you too.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Any more questions here?
We can get some pre-breaker info to the person that asked the question about the pre-breaker as well if they'd like, so.
Yep. All right, we got, does the D10 unit adjust to changes in input density of the EPS feeding into it, keeping it all the same?
Yes, we can dial it in, yes, for what the product is.
Great. Right. Okay. Another one. Wow. We have a pretty active group here today. Does your unit handle metal better than my auger?
Yes, the D10 will bolts, hardware, things like that will just pass through. As long as it's an inch and a half or under, it would probably pass through the screens in the pre-breaker and right into the block. Problem is that having that metal in the block will probably ding you on the commodity side. So, but yes, metal will pass through it. Small metal.
Perfect. Okay. All right, well then with that, thank you all. If there aren't any more questions, thank you all for joining us. I hope you found this very informative. Thank you, Julie and Lauren, for educating all of our attendees here. Like I said, we'll be sharing a PDF of the presentation with you all shortly after this webinar ends. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
Thank you all.
thank you, everybody.